Hello viewers, and welcome to Cultists on Endless, a new series. I had a request to play Cultists next, and so that's what we are doing. The Cultists present a unique challenge. All the races in the game, all the factions, are pretty different, and they all present unique challenges. But the Cultists present a challenge that is, I think, more different from the other experiences than the other experiences are from each other. The cultists cannot ever have more than one city. You're not allowed to build settlers, and if you conquer a city militarily, it is immediately razed without you getting a choice. To offset this, the cultists can convert minor faction villages into the cult. And once a minor faction village is converted, it pays to you a tithe of all of the resources on the village's tile and the 6 surrounding tiles, as though the village were a district of your city. And in addition, the village will gather luxury and strategic resources that are in the same region as the village. It doesn't gather them as effectively as an extractor, I believe, but it's still something. So what you want to do is you go across the land, converting minor factions to your cause, and that's how you expand. That's how you get more tiles, basically. Hold on.
The Endless broke us when they broke themselves. Now we are few, and many that remain are of little use. Yet our purpose still drives us. Even death cannot be allowed to stop us. We must find new converts, new servants, who will help us fulfill the great oaths we took so long ago. They will not only be our hands and our eyes, they will be the sword and the shield of our armies that will bring the eternal end. First upon Origa, and then across the universe.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what is meant by the eternal end. We are the cultists of the eternal end. That's the name of the faction. But I don't know what the eternal end actually is. Like what the whole deal is. Anyway, before I go doing stuff, let's have a quick look at the attributes of our faction. So, number 1, like I said, no settler production. But city districts in the cultist main city, the cultist big capital city, have a level cap of 3 instead of 2. It works sort of like normal districts. Normally you have to surround a district with 4 level 1 or higher districts to level it up to 2. To level a district from 2 to 3, you have to surround it with 4 level 2 or higher districts. So you build these, basically we're going to build a very dense city. And all the districts are going to feed into each other, and we're going to have a bunch of level 3 districts. It's also worth noting that legendary buildings are especially valuable for the cultists because they are districts, and they will have a higher level cap. And as you know, if you've seen much gameplay, the extra levels on the legendary buildings are very, very powerful. Another side effect of this is that it's very easy for the cultists to stay at very high approval, because we don't really get expansion disapproval. In addition, our empire plans are going to be pretty cheap because we can't found additional cities, although converted villages count as a portion of a city when determining the cost of an empire plan. In addition, like I said, they give you the FIDS, that's the food, industry, dust, and science, on their tile and all surrounding tiles. They leech strategic and luxury resources, and every X turns, I don't know actually what it is on normal, a unit of the minor faction will spawn in the converted village under our control, but this unit is not retrofittable, which means that it's going to be garbage forever. And, I mean, whatever, it's fine, it's not a big deal. Free units, the worst case scenario is we sell them, right? Yeah. We start with Walls of Faith, just Our main city is tougher, which is important, obviously, if we get attacked. If we capture an enemy city, it is immediately raised, and we gain 1 industry stockpile for each citizen that was in the city. Try not to think too hard about why that is. In Era 2, we can research a technology that will give us a science stockpile in addition for each citizen. In Era 2, we can research this thing, which gives us bonus XP when recruiting a converted unit. It's fine. It's whatever. Our 3 units, we start with the Preacher, which is, I think, the worst unit in the game. Preachers are absolutely terrible. And you can look at those stats. They're good at nothing. The Unleashed Potential buff that they have there increases unit stats by 10% for each, for 3 turns, I think? And it affects all the stats, so that's kind of cool, but the Preacher is low defense, very low health, very low attack, very low damage. It's just a garbage unit. The majority of our army is going to be made up of minor faction units and these guys, the Nameless Guard. You know how I feel about factions that have good archers. In addition, at some point we can pick up the Fanatic. It's just a cavalry unit. It's totally fine. It's just a cavalry unit that has Sweep Strike back by default. The 2 technologies we start with are Language Square, giving us Parlay and Bribe, and Military Science, which, I mean, go ahead and look at that. That's not useful. If we get attacked early, having access to those early buildings could be something, but most of the time having Military Science unlocked means absolutely nothing. Alright, so, obviously, placement of our first city is... of our only city, is very, very important. We have emeralds. It's like the booby prize of luxury resources. We have to scout this place out as thoroughly as possible. We don't want to delay settling. That's very expensive. You can see we're hemorrhaging dust right now. So unless I see a very good reason to not settle this turn, we're going to settle this turn. We need all of the information. Okay. So we have I think a pretty obvious settling spot right here. This gives us access to an anomaly that has a fair amount of industry on it, and I mean the 10 approval doesn't hurt. This location has a reasonable amount of food, 8 industry. It's a little dust light, but you don't really need dust that badly if you have industry, because you can just build some dust buildings real quick. Unfortunately, we don't get there in a single turn. We're going to have to endure a turn of suffering here. But I think it's worth it to get the optimal setup. I think that's something that we have to be pretty sure of. Plus, you know, this will let me see the rest of the tiles before I settle. I doubt that I'm going to find anything down here that's going to change my mind, considering that it would mean an extra turn of walking. But let's see. Yeah, nothing. Well, let's have a quick talk with these guys. Make sure there's no enemy army in this region. Okay, we will get that for free. That's pretty handy. I'm not overjoyed about our starting region. It's possible, in fact, certain, that what I should have done was walk over here. In fact, it's so certain that we're going to reload the beginning of turn autosave here, because I'm feeling like that's a real screw-up. That tile had 3 anomalies next to it, and they were like good ones. Yeah, you know, you don't have to start in the region it starts you in. I will say this, the starting region is basically guaranteed to have exactly 1 minor faction village in it. Depending on who you are, that can be a blessing or a curse. Generally speaking, in my experience, it's way better to have 3 minor faction villages than it is to have 1, for purposes of assimilation and the like. So, I'm kind of happy about not settling in our starting region for that reason as well. Yeah, this tile is much, much better. It is another turn of walking, but it's totally worth it. It does butt us right up against somebody. That's a shame. Still totally worth it. 100% worth it. Okay, you have to go get a quest again. It's a shame we probably won't get as good of a quest. Yeah, we have to destroy a village. With the cultist starting units, that's a, let's say it's somewhat unlikely. We are not good at stuff. These guys want 50 dust and then something. I'm not going to pay them right now, but I am going to keep this unit adjacent to this village. And you can go parlay with these guys. Bring 10 titanium to these Nidya. Well, that seems unlikely. Alright, here's hoping. Good luck, us. That is a pretty good tile. This region's a little on the tight side. That is a shame. Alright, so Founders Memorial. I am going to give them the dust. I know we're very low on dust and operating at a deficit. But with a hero-led army, talk to the other Dogeshi, yeah. Okay, and notice this this village is not lit up, which means that there is in fact a third minor faction village in this region, and I am pretty excited about that. Found nothing in that ruin. Well, that sucks. I guess we don't need to have the resource overlay on. Now or ever again. Hey look, that time we found something. 40 dust as well. That's nice. Alright, so we delayed our opening move a little bit. In a way that's maybe not great. But we sure did get a nice tile as our first tile. Let's have a look over here. Alright, so our faction quest is told from 2 points of view. You have this part is a member of the cult speaking, and this part is a member of a minor faction. What you see here is the cult entering a minor faction village and quote-unquote converting them. So, the conversion begins, but the task is formidable. Few of those we attract are worthy, and even those must be trained. It would be convenient if more survived the training, but the unspoken insists on rigor. We will follow one of these. Perhaps we can learn from it. It came with machines and troops, and we saw that our weapons were nothing. Our tools, armor, fences, walls, useless. It was cold and terrifying. It preached and promised, as all the powerful ones do. But this was different. These cultists want to convert, invade the old places, and cover the world with their believers. Who is insane enough to dream of ruling a world? This cult. It told us about a vengeance of centuries, and asked us to join their terrible purpose. I looked right and left to see my people groveling. Their weakness angered me. I did not bow or grovel. I fought back and refused. That thing, that metal monster, broke my weapon and then broke my legs and threw me into a pit. And then it began speaking to me. So we must convert 2 minor faction villages into the cult. Well, that'll be a lot easier with 3 minor faction villages being pacified in our home region. And in the meantime, we continue to seek ruins, because we are going to need a lot of dust before the day is over here. Oh, we might get a free resolution on this one though. We could certainly use the dust. So, pink is going to be a problem, and they're going to be a problem early. I don't know exactly what our options are there. Okay, we found nothing in the ruin. I have to snap our hero over there to finish that quest up. Then 5 turns, search those ruins. Okay. This guy can do that. He'll grab this and then turn around. And what he has grabbed is intellectual jealousy. Okay, well, we'll get there. That's something that will happen. Actually, let's walk this way. Roving clans. Interesting. There's still going to be a problem, and if it's unclear, the reason that they're going to be a problem has nothing to do with their ability to attack us. The fact that they're roving clans doesn't make me feel any better. They're going to be a problem because they're going to keep attacking our minor faction villages. And so we have pacified the Dorgeshi. This has a couple of large benefits. Number one is that we immediately gain citizens based on their population, so that's huge. And obviously, number two is, the ability to convert them. Now, our hero is in fact going to be a governor. Cultist heroes are just really good at governing. They have big science boost, big influence boost, and big dust boost. Obviously, Impassioned Preacher is a pretty good skill when your city has a very high population, which ours will. But we're going to have Andom the Seer run around a little bit. Actually, I didn't look. What are his capacities? He has influence boost too. Okay. That's actually a pretty compelling reason to get him into the capital immediately. We'll do it next turn. We'll have him search this ruin first for the XP. Alright, we're going to need influence in order to convert the villages. Okay, we have access to some titanium. 70 dust, that's lucky. Buy that out. And we will need these in short order afterward. And yeah, I think it's time to... Oh no, wait, we can't. We just assigned him to this army. He's on assignment cooldown for 4 turns. Okay, well, in 4 turns' time then. In the meantime, we need to do everything we can to gather XP. Oh, also we need to research things. I don't know that I really want to research the Fanatic right now. I don't think that a relatively squishy cavalry unit is going to be valuable for fighting roving clans. Unfortunately, what we have in our home region, minor faction-wise, is also a cavalry civilization. They help you gather luxury resources more quickly, but the luxury resource in our region is emeralds, which are not worth gathering ever, basically. I do want to look at one more thing. Have at least 30 units of one luxury resource at the end of turn in order to gain 130 emeralds, so we don't actually probably want to stress about this. It's not that important. If it was something more worthwhile, wine or dye or something like that, I might worry about getting our luxury extractors up earlier or something. Alright, it looks like we'll be able to grab a couple of ruins real quick here. Before Pink kicks us out of their territory. Honestly, they may not be able to afford may not be able to afford to spare the, what do you call it? Influence right now. Alright, so let's get this. And it gave us break wall, okay. There's a small group of equipment items that you can get from it. Break wall's fine. I would have preferred the crossbow. There actually might even be 2 different crossbows for that. Alright, one more turn on the cooldown there. I guess we'll just parlay with these guys. That's some XP. We are not gifting them 10 gold. I suppose there's not really anything for this guy to do. We already parlayed with a bunch of these villages. Stupid Pink had an army in the region. We would have gotten 80 free dust, man. What a bunch of jerks. Alright, so we're gonna need this. We don't need aquapulvistics this game. These researches that have a powerful, only built once in your empire building are obviously a little bit better for cultists than they are for a lot of other civs or factions. It's very difficult to get out of the habit of saying civilization. You know? Is there any possibility of finding something? No, there is not. There is no way for this army to find something that will gain XP for our hero. Well, it's time for Andom to begin a long career as president for life. That dude is never leaving the city bounds ever again. You know, I think he'd be fine with it, though. We're basically some sort of slave race for a giant AI. I think what's going on is that this big tower is basically a server. And the queen of our faction is actually an AI that was developed by the Endless before they had whatever problem it is that they had. Okay, so we need to actually pacify some more of these minor factions. I'm really bummed out that we didn't get that no enemy armies thing done. Emun has 5 units in its garrison already. I know we have 4, but that's only because we got a free militia. Okay. We can rebuild. Are you upset? Yes, you are upset. Hey, guy. We're not the ones who are encroaching. We're not even capable of encroaching. We can convert, rebuild, destroyed villages, and in the course of doing so, we rebuild them. I think I'm going to go ahead and pacify those Nidya. I would try to hold the glass steel for doing legendary building stuff, but I would try to hold it if it was glass steel, I mean. The fact that it's the same resource that we have access to makes me feel that it's not very important to hold on to. Is this start good enough to win the game? I honestly don't know. The cultists are a little bit difficult at the best of times, and this is not the best of times. What is this region's quest? Oh, right, Ursus. Right, this is Attican? No, oh no, this is Parandy. Parandy had the one that we failed. Well, we can get the Nidya at least. I should have actually moved him up in that direction. If that was my plan, that would seem to be a sensible thing to do. Alright, our payouts are starting to get in order. Or our incomes, rather. Ah, leave me alone. Okay. Alright, yeah, I'm fine with that being uncompletable. So we need these things. Let's get the titanium extractor up quickly. This guy can try to figure out a path to this ruin. Okay, you have to go like down around here. Alright. For the most part, this is going to look kind of like anyone else's early game. With the exception that because we have access to so much influence, we're going to be able to get a couple of things done that we might not otherwise be able to. Alright. So, we want to try to convert villages that are not in our home region first. Because, here. You see, this is going to generate +2 titanium, 0.2 titanium a turn because there's a titanium deposit in this region. Whereas our region's resources we can just get with an extractor. I was really hoping that that would be a glass steel region, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers and all. I'm really nervous about those cavalry. They would totally annihilate our preacher if they ever chose to attack him. Curses. Keep on picking up quests. Okay, we can do this. This is Attican. This is where we are to go to free our people, but unfortunately our army's not actually capable of fighting. Alright, he should head for the other village in the region. We need to get a second one converted for our faction quest anyway. Alright, obviously we're going to need mercenary market. However, we have less need for mercenary market than a lot of other players because we don't need quite as many heroes. We need a hero to govern. We need a hero for our main army. We probably are not in a place yet where we can afford to field 2 armies. Much less actually have any need for a second army, because there's no way we're going to be able to build enough units. So that means that we can hire some heroes. We can hire quite a number of heroes to serve as spies. But in the long run, we're just going to need fewer heroes than usual, so... There's an awful lot of pink dudes running around out here. Okay, both of these villages have immediately coughed up a unit. You can see this symbol down here means that this unit is a mercenary, and the practical meaning of that is that this unit cannot be retrofitted. These guys can fly, which is actually going to be pretty helpful, I think. It makes them fantastic scouts. I'm also going to try to merge them with my preacher armies. We'd be a lot better off if our preachers weren't running around the desert by themselves. Actually, it's probably just time to reform. All of a sudden, we're hemorrhaging gold. The cost of maintaining multiple armies is significant. I want to try to merge these 2 armies together before we get attacked. Alright. Oh, well, hold on. Before we do anything, let's, faction quest. 15 glass steel. They begin to think, this is good. They will come to us willingly, in time. For everything must be bent to the will of the cult, or be destroyed. I have seen this conversion again. What power do they have that makes others so glad to obey? Once you are converted, you never doubt or hesitate. Just follow orders, as if you enjoy it. Like dogs wagging tails, eager to please. They will let me leave the pit if I mouth the words and obey the orders. I'll do it. I have only to find a way to save my people. As long as I still control my thoughts, I will fight for the future and safety of my tribe. No cult or army will change that, and never one full of such strangeness, dedicated to an insane cause. But I am no fool. I see the power, and power seduces. But what do they want to do with it? Destroy? Save? Rule? One day I will know. Until then, I'll watch and wait. So if we assimilate a minor faction, we'll get 10 Moonleaf. That'll be nice. Luxury boosters will always be very cheap. Luxury boosters will always be very cheap because we only have one city. I think the cost of luxury boosters does scale up, though, with your number of minor faction villages. Also, our population is really coming along quickly. I'm very happy about that. What did we find? 30 dust. Awesome. We'll keep parlaying. This is something we can actually do. Return to this village with an army that contains a minimum of 3 minor faction units for 10 Titan Bones. I would love 10 Titan Bones. Especially since we got 15 glass steel and we could potentially push for a megapole. Our city's going to be kind of a weird shape, and it's going to have a lot of tiles that aren't getting really a lot of value. Yeah, as soon as we get another spawn of minor faction units. Okay, so you can see the cost for an Empire plan is 28, increased from 20 to 28 because of our minor faction villages. That's fine. I was going to do this anyway. Oh, actually, it's not going to let me. I need 30. Well, I still want to get the assimilation on as quickly as possible. Ah, yes. I couldn't have done the quest. Sorry, Ursus. Well, I think I want to merge these guys up, but I don't know what I want to do with them after that. What region is this? This is Etmus. What did Etmus's, this one. Locate the Ursus village in Attican and destroy it. Well, what are they? They are Ursus themselves. And these are not exciting minor faction units. Also, like I said, we're going to have a problem with Pink. Pink is going to be all up in our stuff, denying us access to minor factions. We're just going to have to solve it somehow. And when I say somehow, I think you probably know what I mean. Actually, no, we're going to bail this guy out so that we can accomplish this mission as quickly as possible when it comes up. Now, the faction quest of the Cultists is one that I actually don't remember, like, at all. Now, I know, this is what I chose. Alright, our city is now great in a lot of ways, but hemorrhaging dust. Andom is going to move this way. Legendary deeds are being accomplished. People are destroying armies at an incredible rate. We're only a few turns off of being able to start the megapole. When I say a few, of course, I mean like 9. So a lot. But still, significant. We are not going to need sewer systems, probably. Not anytime soon, certainly. Even though the only luxury we have access to right now is emeralds, it's important for us to pick up luxury extractor tech, because our minor factions won't bring us their luxuries unless we have the luxury extractors. We need to have the tech. They use our technology, as they are unable to develop any of their own. Enter Technology Era 2 within the next 10 turns for 15 free titanium. So, in 4 turns, we will totally be doing that. And that will accelerate our progress toward the, what do you call it? Toward the Megapole. I know that I probably seem a little bit obsessed. I always push for this. Alright, we need to get on dust, like, really hard. Here's what I'm thinking. We're probably going to want to not have anybody on dust while we're trying to build the Megapole, which means we need to build up a stockpile so that we can afford to not have anybody on dust for a while. My other option is to do this. This gets me the titanium next turn. It's probably wise for us to get moving on that. Okay, so let's think. If we built the Megapole, where would we build it? Here isn't terrible. Yeah, we could reasonably level it up by building it here. It also might be this is the place. Or it could be here. Actually, this makes more sense to me. So let's build a burrow over here. Start the construction of a burrow over here. Alright, and we're basically just flying around waiting for new spawns from the villages so that we can complete that quest. Wow. Lousy luck with the ruins. This last few have not been very good for us. Alright, so we got a lot of things accomplished here. Yep. Welcome to Research Era 2. Also, what is this? Yes, we're definitely a peaceful sort of people. For now. Until I decide that you are in any way a threat to me. Alright, so we'll see if we can get this built. I think I am going to let the burrow finish. Man. That's a lot of dust per turn lost. We're even at happy. Well, I guess we'll assimilate these guys even though they're not useful right now. Just to get our faction quest moving. Although, actually, you know what? They might be useful because we might be getting something luxury-wise from a minor faction. Either now or in the near future. I think it's going to be Nameless Guard. I think that this is... we need to get militarily aggressive enough to push Pink away from us a little bit. Otherwise, they're going to just settle all the way around us. I don't know that there's actually a lot for these preachers to do, though. mean, they'll be useful during the winter for gathering pearls. They're not really capable of fighting by themselves. Yeah, they're in a rough spot. Okay, 70 dust, that helps a lot with the dust deficit I'm running. This would be a cool auto finish. Although 40 influence is a lot less valuable to me than some dust would be. Yeah, I don't even know what to do with you guys. I don't know what to do with you guys to such an extent that I'm thinking of garrisoning you just to drop the army upkeep costs. I think that is in fact what we will be doing. It would be really cool if my minor faction villages would spawn me some more dudes. Oh no, Silix incoming! Also, something else. Search 2 ruins in Attican in order to find the right location. But beware of the roaming armies. Okay, I will beware of them. The cultists wish to study ruins. Search the unspoiled ruins with at least 2 level 2 minor faction units. These guys are only level 1 for now. We got our Moonleaf. Alright, Megapole it is. 9 turns. 9 turns is not horrible. Ooh, hello. Little secluded region beyond. Also, man, those Silix are awfully fast. I was expecting them not to be able to put up much of a fight since they don't, as far as I know, have winter immunity. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, we can't endure too much more dust loss than these turns. We have to hope this gets finished quickly. Alright, let's keep parlaying, keep waiting for the minor faction villages to spit out more units. Give these guys 15 titanium. I don't think that we want these ones pacified badly enough to be worth 15 titanium. That's a little crazy. Yeah, look at this. He's encircling us. Okay, somebody else got all the emeralds. Oh no. Yeah, he's gonna make us declare war on him, I think is his plan. He can't directly declare on us. These eyeless ones will give us a ton of glass steel for building an improvement that increases our influence. I don't think that we will be doing that for a little while, unfortunately. Oh no! Silix! Alright, hold on a second. Alright, well we did that. We got 40 influence out of it. We managed to pull this off. So all of a sudden our influence value is shot through the roof. We're definitely going to want weapons tech. We're just going to run away. We have absolutely no chance of winning such a battle. We'll fly into the forest in the hopes of losing them. Go quickly, little birdmen. And also, maybe you could level up. That would be handy. Wow. I accidentally clicked on a stack of 10 pearls. That was cool. Well, I feel pretty confident about the state of this megapole. We have a lot of people working on it. and it's coming down very quickly. And here I was thinking we might need the Titan bones if we wanted to get it. Run away! Does this region have a strategic? Not one that I see. In fact, no strategic and no luxury. And this village is up against a wall in such a way that 4 of its tiles are not available. So this is a terrible, terrible conversion. I am not going to do that. This village, on the other hand... that one actually looks totally good. And thanks to our crazy sudden influence payouts... oh, hey, look. We got a spawn. It's time to merge up and get us some Titan bones. Man, Titan bones are going to be very effective for us, what with this, us having this mega pull already and everything. Alright. So, we need to make an army. That army is going to be largely composed of minor faction units. I think we'll get alchemy workshops since titanium is our available resource. I definitely would have gone for the food buildings if we had had any extra glass steel with which to actually build them. Alright, the AI's been very, you want peace? No. No, I think that benefits you a lot more than it benefits me. We're gonna get this guy to cold operator first, obviously. Look, you can trust us. Thanks for the Titan bones. Alright. It is now time to build some, yes. They are coming over here and they're taking over our, they're burning down our villages. If there's no minor faction unit stationed in the village, they just get it. I'm okay with that happening, right now. Hold on, I want to bang out level 3 on this, or level 2 on this, what do you call it? Level 2 on this megapole. Actually, wait a second. I built those in the wrong places. The burrow should go over here. And the altar should go over here. Actually, it doesn't matter. They're both going to get leveled up anyway, because I need that to happen in order for this to be, in order for that to be level 3. Alright, fortunately we have the influence necessary to reconvert. Unfortunately, the Moonleaf is gone forever. Alright. So it is now time to consider the army. Our opponent has mostly cavalry, which makes me a little bit reticent to use a bunch of Nameless Guard because they're going to get swarmed. That said, they do better damage and have much higher attack than Berdeki. Man, Berdeki are cheap, though. Only 114 industry. Nameless Guard, you can see, are significantly more expensive. let's have a look at what it would mean to build. We're definitely going with shields instead of longbows here, because we have to be concerned about getting hit. I think that we want improved movement. Improved vision and sharp sense. Sharp sense, in case you are unfamiliar, gives attack or defense against ranged attacks. We already have sharp sense because we have a shield on. So plus movement is the thing that makes sense. And also plus movement's just generally really good. And then let's see, this guy can be equipped with Infantry Slayer and Cavalry Slayer. That's definitely the direction we want to go. Okay, so these guys serve as anti-cavalry cavalry. I don't think we need improved movement on these guys, and while we're not looking at archers now, we might be looking at archers in the near future. Okay. I feel comfortable with building some Berdeki then. Especially considering that they are especially effective against enemy cavalry. Probably want some archers still. Let's do that. Alright, the time has come for a mighty army. Remember, these guys cannot be retrofitted, which makes them basically just useless. As sad as that is. Alright, our altar is complete. Our megapole is now level 2. The roving clans are tearing up the dust and trade game, as one would expect. We're going to reconvert this village. It's going to be a little bit on the expensive side. Yeah. Oh, we can't convert this village because there's no actual cultist units in our army. Right, that's what the preachers in the capital are for. But we're still booting dust, by the way. I'm not happy about it. Yeah, I mean, just build units, right? Let's send the preachers out to join up with the Arpuhas. Oh, actually, I don't have meritocratic promotion yet. Only one of them can do that. And unfortunately, he's going to completely bring that army's speed down. Speed and mobility. It won't be able to fly over cliffs anymore. Disappointing, but an unfortunate necessity. You actually should probably get back to the city. Alright. Building an army relatively quickly. Is this Pink's capital here? If it is, it's going to be harder to take. Uh-oh. Why infinite? Invalid prerequisite. Invalid prerequisite. Oh, the city garrison was full. You should transfer back into the garrison. Okay, we are now hemorrhaging money. Can we maybe keep this guy on a 2-turn build? Because that would be splendid. Okay, there we go. This is the maximum number of people we can assign to dust while ensuring a 2-turn build. Alright, we'll convert these guys back. We really need one of our Arpuas to level up so that we can search this ruin and get the faction quest over with. Or at least this stage of it. Who is either of them particularly close? 19 and 22. No. Well, they need something to do. Otherwise, they're never going to level. Well, they'll level, it'll just take forever. Also, we really do need to get our income in shape so that we can buy heroes. Hopefully, this is the start of that, although, in order to do it, I have removed all of my citizens from, you know, stuff that would be more theoretically useful to us right now. I don't think this army leaves the city until it's at least got the archer. We can use these guys as sort of a suicide squad. But we probably don't want to do it until we've had the Arpuas hit level 2 so that we can move on to our faction, or move on with our faction quest. I'm sure we'll be told that we need to destroy something in the very near future. I have absolutely no doubt that that will happen. Alright. So it's looking like War Against Pink is maybe going to be a beginning of the next episode, sort of thing. Well, you know, we've got our 4 units. I think part of the problem is that I can't anticipate... Like, I just don't see how it would ever happen that I would get in a battle with less than 4 enemy units. You know what I could do? I could declare war on them, push on this city, and just keep these guys around for backup. They're not great, and I might be spiking my chance to get this, but with them as backup, I'd at least be able to, you know, sort of keep them out of harm's way if it looks like they're not absolutely necessary to the battle. You know what, I think I'm actually going to call this episode here while I think about it. Come back tomorrow to see whether we declare war on Pink right now, or wait a couple of turns. And we'll see you then.